Yes, you met me a little bit early on. I'm the nurse consultant for Prince Wales ED, but I'm also the state director for the College of Emergency Nursing, as well as the associate executive director for the college as well. Thank you for inviting me. This is to provide a brief update and to give you some feedback from the international conference that was held here in October. I'd like to remind people that CENA is a not-for-profit organisation. We're actually here to represent the standards of care from an emergency nursing perspective, both nationally and abroad. We're part of a broad international network. I'm pleased to report, last time I was up here, I said, unfortunately, we were behind Queensland in membership. We're now above them. That makes me very happy. We are still pushing on credentialing for emergency nursing, and this is growing to expand into other advanced roles in emergency nursing as well. Hence why the MP Clinical Development Pathway sort of discussion group is there. We are continuing to promote webinars, and from the feedback that we've received from the triage survey from the earlier study I was talking about, we're aiming at releasing triage updates at least 3-4 times a year through CENA for the webinars. To get people just started on that sort of pathway of reviewing and refreshing their triage skills. We were part of the emergency department principal diagnosis shortlist project work. Their collaborative documents have just been released in terms of how billing coding is calculated, and for the first time emergency nurses are actually part of that billing coding process. So what happened so far this year? We have a flag journal called the Australasian Emergency Nursing Journal. It's 6 out of 23 in its division for emergency nursing care, and it is now broadening its scope to actually include all aspects of emergency, disaster and trauma care, and it has just been renamed the Australasian Emergency Care Journal. So we'll expand its readership from nursing to paramedicine to medicine and other aspects related to emergency care. We do have a shop that we look at aiming giving nurses access to cheaper essential items. There are dates released for our nationally endorsed trauma nurse program that's been fully revised, and there are New South Wales dates out for 2018, so please come along. We are still looking for an Australian Resource Council representative for New South Wales branch, so if you're interested, please drop me a line. And new for this year were the amount of awards that we've given out. Previously, CENA would give ED Nurse of the Year, ED Department of the Year, and a few other awards in there, including the Leadership Award, which I believe someone who won it is actually here today. But we've also been busy behind the scenes looking at how we can support the growth of emergency nurses general. We have CPD scholarships named after Elaine Killen, who was an emergency nurse educator, and they're $500 each, and we've awarded 8 of those so far. We have an Indigenous Emergency Care Scholarship, which is going to be held over for 2018. The Innovation in Emergency Care grant was actually awarded to Claire Hutchinson for a project that's going to come forward, and hopefully we can share and disseminate the next time, but that was worth $2,000. And the research grants will be coming out next year, and they were $4,000. So we've got plenty of options for emergency nurses to look to grow and expand research, inquire and develop practice, so please keep those in mind for next year. So we did have the international conference in October. It was held not too far from here. We nearly beat the record, unfortunately. We were just a few nurses short, but it doesn't matter. We had nearly 390 emergency nurses from all over Australia, and 6% were actually from overseas, which is a bit of a bigger jump than last year. It was over 70 presentations, 20 plenary speakers. John was there and still carries the best oral presentation, and Matt Lutz for his immortal phrase that what comes out of the back of a cow is never a substitute for knowledge. Australasian Emergency Nurse of the Year went to Vanessa Gorman, and Box Hill took our ED of the Year. And all the reports about how we judge those awards and the amazing work they've been doing, it will be up on CENA's website so we can sort of nab some good ideas. And the Medal for Leadership went to Professor Kate Curtis. Are you here? She is due to present, so we'll grab her next time. But she took it out. It's only ever awarded every 2 years, and she was a high contender, and she took it out. And we had an honorary fellow, Ian Miller, which some of you might know as the Nurse Path. Okay, what else we do? So, on to next year. You're all welcome and invited to get down to Melbourne in October to come join us. The program the abstracts will be open later in the middle of the year, so do keep it in your diaries and we'll get that posted around. That's it. Thank you very much.